Welcome once again to Deep Web3 Secrets, where we demystify all the technological topics around Hive. And we are here today with the eminent Detlev, founder of Beer Token and proposer of the WorldMappin proposal. Detlev, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm quite fine. It's a sunny early evening here where I live, and I had some time out, and now I'm really looking forward to this chat with all my friends here on Hive.
Fantastic. And I am one too that weather depending, my mood is much better when the sun comes out. And so I'll ask, how is spring treating you?
Well. I was traveling yesterday. Weather was fine. We had an event in Mainz, and I was half of the time outside chatting with people, so quite nice. And I need sun. All the winter time makes me nah, don't like it.
Me too, man. And I would just like to know, for those that don't know, who are you and what do you do?
Oh, that's a longer story. In real life, I'm a business guy, senior consultant for all the things around technical communications, not programming, mainly where people talk to people or where automation meet people or where customer like to get service or any other things around these topics. I wrote a bunch of books about the new way of working and some other technology things. And whenever I'm not doing this type of consulting, I'm as well on stage, hired as a speaker or moderator on different events, like I did for the Hive community as well already a few times. So yeah, mainly I like to have fun while understanding technology.
Amazing. So, author, communicator, technologist, and consultant. Wow, I think we got the right guy here today. So, would you like to just start out? Our main topic today is going to be world mapping, but talk us through the history of world mapping. I think it used to be another application. And how did you get involved?
Oh, if you think back to Hive Fest Lisbon, even if it at this time had a little bit different name, but it was a fest in Lisbon. Some people started with a mapping service, mainly our good old friend who did this in the first time, Matribis. And I saw this and I found the idea to be able to pin a post to a location quite cool. And so from there, I was user number 8 or something like this, even before it went live, as I really enjoyed it. And from there, I think it was Hive, Steam World Map or something like this. And it was Pin Maple, and then it even had a few yeah, hard times because the project was going slower and slower, and yeah, then we took over. But this was last year.
Okay, PinMapple, I do remember, and that's interesting. And so PinMapple was a great thing. Why is it no longer called PinMapple?
Because the guy who was running it said officially, we are closing down, we are burned out, we like to do something different. And from there, I was talking to a few people what we should do, what we can do, and we all agreed on giving it a new name, and even a name which describes a little bit more what the whole thing is. I was never a big fan of this pineapple, pin maple logo, whatever. So together with Liz and Nomad Soul and Archange, We spent some time on it. We had some discussions on it, and even if my name is the guy who is doing the proposal, the whole project is teamwork and international teamwork. So from there, we all decided to give it a different name.
Well, I really like that as somebody who likes to be on a team and not do everything myself. But still, if you could break this down, because I find one piece of irony here about location data. I'm assuming this is about location data. Aren't we trying to get away from sharing our location with these decentralized tools, or am I being too dense?
No, you are free to change your location if you like to share it for a post you are doing, for a pub you are visiting, for a travel experience you made, or for anything else. For example, I will share a post the next days about my travel from yesterday, where I saw a few nice old castles close to the River Rhine. So from there, I like to share, but nobody needs to do it. And nobody need to share his actual location, because this depends on if you like to be secret by your own or public.
Well, of course, that depends on what I'm doing. So, okay, right. We're voluntarily sharing when we feel comfortable with it. So that's really cool. And then, so we're back with location data, voluntary. I like that a lot better than forced. But what can we do? What are the, why would we pay for this? Is there anything specially powerful about location data?
You know, we have a community on WorldMappin with quite a nice amount of people, and all these people, they are sharing their posts, their travel parts where they went to and. If you look to the community of WorldMappin, you see some 16,000, around 400 people posting about traveling, posting about the places they visited all around the world. And we have around 460 active users in that community. And I think we are the second biggest one, which if you look to payouts. So many people really do weekly, daily posts about where they are, what they did on that location. So we get a huge travel overview information system out of this based on Hive.
I gotta stop here because we're gonna go back to that. But I'm reading here in the chat. Today I learned that Beer Token and WorldMappin both are the same dev. Do you, just as a technologist, want to break down this word dev? Can we maybe unpack dev? Because as far as I know, you're not a dev. You're a
Oh,
technologist.
I'm, you know, I run companies, my own one mainly, and I support others since 30 years. So, uh, Beer Token and the whole Beer Saturday challenge thing is something I do nearly since 7 years now. We are week 403 or 404 of the Beer Saturday challenge. And this is something I really did whenever I started with Hive in early days, because I was thinking about, hey, where should people talk about? Where should people chat about? Where should people write about? And figured out, being a German living in Belgium, loving beer, why not talking about beer and all these things which happened while sipping a few beer, or maybe only one very delicious one. And so from there, I started the um, Beer Saturday Challenge, where I get a lot of support from token holders, from other people, to have all this thing running, and have people from all around the world each week with a lot of fun and with a lot of stories. And this is just the same guy, Detlev, behind it. And this is my real name, by the way. This was developing over the years. And then some time ago, this Hive engine showed up. And I asked myself, said, well, if I don't do a beer token, somebody else would do. So this step was done quickly.
Very interesting. Okay, so let me just back you up. All of a sudden, I thought these were separate projects, but I am now relating beer to world mapping. Okay, so talk me through then. It sounds like beer came first for you. So I'm
Yeah,
also, I
yeah.
don't do it as much as I did when I was younger, but man, it's nice to have a few beers with some friends once in a while. So talk me through how beer has connected through you and your experience into the world of technology.
It's quite simple. Whenever a day at the office or day with tons of meetings or an activity with other people here in Central Europe, you normally meet with a beer in the hand and a chat with all the other people you have around. So it was for me, together with people like Uwe Lang and others, quite easy to start this. As I said, well, this is a topic where people really have emotions with, where people have activities with, and where people love to talk about. So we started this, or I mainly started this way back. And it's not connected to WorldMappin, only that I'm the same guy doing these different projects.
This is interesting. So you're a particular guy with particular interests, and your project beer maybe is about that interest, but world mapping, for you it's about beer, but for others it's about other things. So it's kind of more of an abstract idea of the same concept. Now, but I want to tap into something there with social. Social, Hive is a community of decentralized communities, and social is something that we are pretending to try to do. And so I want to ask you about that. How important was the social aspect in everything you've done so far?
Uh, One of the main drivers, because I started with social media as social media started. So that's the benefit of being a little bit older. You did a few things already. And I love to see people connecting from all over the world together into whatever. I started traveling to India where I was age 19. I was traveling the world in many other things. And this is a way of being in social communication with people you never met before. And doing things like this, Hive is a perfect place. If you're open-minded and if you like to talk and moderate people and topics and other things, we have a lovely place. And there you could have even many different opinions on whatever topic, but here we can meet from different cultures, from different locations, and even with different languages.
I love
Does this
that. And
answer
yes,
your question a little bit?
nailed it, Detlev. Yeah. So, and maybe I'll just say one thing about languages because as a European, Central European, you probably speak a few. I am bilingual. I wonder, has there been any specific challenges with different languages throughout your career here, building on decentralized technologies?
Yeah, don't give me too many credits. I'm quite good in English and in German, which is my mother tongue. I'm close to lousy in Spanish. I learned it while traveling Guatemala many years ago. And then I might do a few words in Bahasa Indonesia as I traveled that country several times. And then it stops. Even living in a country where many of the people talk French, I always look with big open eyes and an open mouth to them, like in a shop 2 hours ago, where I talked to the lady and was asking for some stuff, and she was only talking French and not good English, so I was forced to follow her stuff in estimating where she is moving me to the stuff I like to buy. It works.
Amazing.
Hand language.
Well, and learning to communicate is about more than just language, but language, I think, is a good jumping off point. So let's laterally jump to programming languages. There's another whole world of translation and communication in programming languages. And as kind of a project manager yourself, I wonder how, what advice could you give us between different types of developers working with people who speak or write code in different languages?
First of all, during my apprenticeship as an electronic engineer or something like this, I learned assembler. So really core language way back in mid 80s. And several other ugly languages who are probably more or less dead, like Fortran or Turbo Pascal or other early stage language. And whenever I talk with devs about it, I always get a lot of laughing about that not much more used languages. But nowadays, you need to understand structure of languages. Either if you use Python or other things. So in projects we do, we moved further from simple language to faster ones, back to compiler languages. Lately, we did quite a lot of things with Golang because it's fast and powerful. I read that even VSC did quite a lot with Golang. And so on the journey of developing products, projects, and whatever, you get more languages on the way. And advice, be open, try it. Don't stuck to your IT religion thinking. Try the next one which comes around the corner and see which benefit it has. So talking that way, my first beer delivery bot from Beer Lover was written on Python. The next one was written in I don't know what, because Beam was dead or problematic. And finally, a while ago, we moved this to Rust, another interesting, fast language. And the whole thing was working 10 times faster. So keep always an open eye on what comes around the corner for development. And to be
Amazing.
true,
Yeah.
I don't write the code. I have people who do it way better, as I prefer to talk and arrange all the things.
Well, I feel very connected with you. I won a Visual Basic programming competition in high school. And I think that might have been the last time I ever used Visual Basic. But I feel
Yeah.
like I learned a lot in that period. And so, very good. I think you nailed it. Okay, so let's come back then to decentralized funding. When you decided that you wanted to save PIMAPple, if only to change the logo, how did you go about it? Did you start reaching out to other people, or did you already have the contacts? Did someone come to you and offer you something? Talk me through that process.
Okay, that's actually a very nice story. At this time, um, I think it was May last year or something like this. Matribis was writing, "We will stop PinMapple." And without knowing what I'm doing, I went to the post and said, "No, we will take it over. We will take care for it, do something different. We don't want to have this project dying." And I didn't know what I just wrote, but it was from my emotions from having already 250 pins on my personal map in PinMapple, or nowadays WorldMappin, and each of this pin transports so much memories of the travel I did, the people I met, the pizza I had, or even the beer I was enjoying at this place in Barcelona, or in that place in Bali, or wherever in Germany. So for me, it was a decision by heart. This can't die. And to be honest, I didn't had any clue about at that moment on how I would do it. For me, it was mainly we have to save it. And then I started to look around and talk to a good old friend, Archange, and he was helping a lot. And I see him here in the call, and I can't do it often enough and give a big thank you and another ton of applause for the work he did, and even better for the open-minded talks with the very creative Detlev, who comes around with new ideas quite too fast and too often. But then other great things happened on that project. Another developer, Michael, was knocking my door and said, "Well, Detlev, I like the project. Can I help?" And I didn't expect something like this. And he even said, "Well, I'm not alone. I have my brother with me. We both can program." And they spent a lot of time on changing front end and other things, making the things ready. We showed at HighFest in Split and so on. And all the time, close connected, I had Liz Alone with Soul, who was managing all the curation, because WorldMappin is way more as making a pin to the map somewhere. We have a curation team of 4 people, or even 5, do it all around the week, every day. They look through 150 posts we have each day, and they dig through this, grab the good ones, and we do the travel digest every day. And we already have, if I look to my other screen here, 2,518 travel digest. And a travel digest mean we have 3 top posts where we see people wrote good quality content, great pictures to that day. And then we have up to 10, 20 honorable mention posts in that whole daily post. And this helps people to find the great content we have for all the travelers on Hive. And all this wouldn't work with the support of block trades and other people who help that curation team with some votes to get all these posts more visible, attract by people, and so on. And there are other people around. If you look to our worldmappin.com website, you see the logo, and if you click it, you see the team. We are already 10, 11 people who are doing different things on that project. One more thing, a project need a home, and we have for sure our world mapping Discord home, and there you have Lewis 88 and Rivals managing this with all their knowledge about managing other communities, knowing Discord like it is their living room or the room they have next to the place where they live. So all this moved suddenly together into being one of the biggest active projects on Hive if it comes to social.
Amazing. Now, I want to back up before, well, because you talked a little bit about money, but before we push you further on it, you said that it was your pins. No, my pins. and it's all on the blockchain, they say, but like if you don't continue the project, it's kind of meaningless, the custom JSONs. So I want you to talk me through that. Would you say that the emotional attachment to your pins was worth more than money?
Yeah, for sure. I don't do this for money. And this is a collection of memories. Sure, they are on the blockchain. Sure, we can build another front end to make them visible. Yeah, but I like the project. I like the way people using it. The community at this time was already 11 or 12,000 people. So somebody has to save the project. And this this amount of work for what we just requested by the first proposal doesn't match at all. So the
Yeah,
people who
I
doing
want
the
to unpack
curation.
that. Yeah, let me unpack that with you because, okay, so how do you put a value on development? This is we need to maybe take a time. So let's unpack this. You said there's a mismatch, but let's start at the beginning. You're putting together a proposal. How are you deciding how much money to ask for?
You know, I took my hand, I put up my thumb, and then I started to estimating. As being a project manager on many other projects, I said, well, what do we need? I talked to the close connected people like Archange and Liz and even Louis 88. And okay, the old proposal had that amount. We put a little bit on top. And we never were thinking about all the work we have to do, all the stuff we have to make, all the other things we are creating out of this. And we said, well, we all like the project, we like to do it, we like to give a little bit to the people who are doing all the curation work. We need to pay the programmers in a fair way to save the project, because what we did, we rewrote, I would say, until today, 80% of the code into something different. We moved the servers into another uh, better, safer harbor instead of having it on Amazon or Amazon Web Services, which is not the cheapest one. It's easy to start, but it's not the cheapest one. And we did many, many, many things behind it to change the whole things, and we are not yet finished with it. So and we as well said, well, if people spend all the time day by day looking into Discord, they need to get some kind of pocket money for this as well, at least to be honored for all the time they are spending.
Now hold on, you must have missed something. You've gone through recognizing developers, paying people for time, effort, servers. But wait a second, I didn't hear anything about your salary. Aren't you paying yourself to be the project manager?
Uh, Not yet. From what we are getting from that proposal, there is no big payment for me and Liz in it, because we are doing it as we love the project. We collected a part to pay the servers. We have to pay Google for the map service. We have to pay all other things. And um, for us, it's important to keep the thing running. I put a little bit from the monthly funds we get aside to cover higher costs from Google if they change something, if we get more or more traffic on it. But from 85, uh, yeah, $85 a day, you can't do big jumps.
Well, fantastic. I appreciate that. I'm just going to write that in the chat. So $85 a day. And how confident were you when you put together this proposal with Archange, and maybe some other people that probably advised you. How confident were you before you launched the proposal that you would get funding or not?
Um, Good question. Um, we thought we have a fair chance, as many people said they love the project. We said this is something what people like to keep alive for so many times they like it. We don't ask a very huge amount, but we even make it possible to spend a little bit of money from that little bit we have for marketing activities for HiveFest and other things for our people. Believe it or not, at HiveFest, you saw many people running around in a blue WorldMappin sweater. I arranged through my contacts having 20 of this, and each member of the team we have, even if they are in the Philippines or in Argentina or in Spain or somewhere else, got one of this thing delivered to their door as part of being honored for all the work they did, and another thing of being proud of being a part of the team. So means even with little you can do big things, and as a manager you need to know how to make your team great again and not shining in front of them.
This is a classic project manager move. We don't have any money, guys, but I got you a sweatshirt. I don't know if you just want to laugh about that for a few more, sentences, but classic move, man.
Yes, this is what you learn when you are running companies since 30 years. So um, and it's for me it's even nobody of the other people of that um, project did something like this before. So the people, even if I look to Argentina or to other places, they were very happy to get something, or to Spain, where we have people from the team. This was really something um, I did from my heart. For sure, I could pay some programmers a little bit more, but having this few $100 used to have happy people. And if you look to the last HiveFest in Split, for sure, I gave one to the organizer. We gave one to Block Trades, as he was always a big help, and he come around with positive vibes and creative ideas during the talks we had. So we have a long list of new ideas of things we like to do with this project.
Amazing. This could be the moment to unpack that. What are your future plans with World Mappin'?
Um, at the moment, we are integrated into Peak D. This is working lovely. Asgard is such a great guy. We were zipping a few beer in Split um, at the evening activities, and use a talk from Lewis, Asgard, and some other people. 2 days later, we had a basic integration, and now we are talking to the team of Essenzi, sneak preview here, who is looking into the same direction to have WorldMappin integrated as well in Essenzi. And for sure, I talked to Carl and the people from Inleo already, and they will do the same. So we are ending up as the destination, the map service for all kind of Hive front ends to make posts visible on your own Hive map. So if you go to worldmappin.com/add your username, you see your map with your pins of whatever you posted, or if you go to my map, you see my pins.
Okay,
Talking
hold on.
future.
Yeah, I want to. Well, let's pause here because we have a lot to unpack. We're getting information, fresh information that WorldMappin is built into Distriator.com, which is a relatively
Yes.
new project that's trying to motivate spending HBD in the real world. And if I understand correctly, they took your solution to help them monitor and make it more available, the information. Do you know about this? And can you just talk to us about that particular integration for a little bit?
Oh, sure. I see my good old friend Starkers in a chat here as well. And I still remember when we met first time, I think in Krakow, where he moved on stage and I was his moderator. Um, we we will we did a first step with Distriator and some others to have for each community a separate filter for having only their posts on a map. This is not finished yet. We are working on this, and we are going into different directions and developments and so on. But the goal is to have the possibility, like Distriator, going to their URL and having all locations of the places where you can pay with Hive HBD on the world on a map, and people who did it, and shops who did it, and allow it. So this is another part, and I didn't look to the chat because then I getting confused because I start to read. So
No, don't do
please,
it. That's my job.
yeah, I know. I do a lot of moderation, so I'm the guy who is talking. You do the questions, and um, yeah, Starkers and even the people behind him and his team did a good job there, and we will go further with it. And the benefit is for Hive, for all the people who are using Hive, all the people who buying stuff with HBD somewhere around the world.
Well, I believe this is a good bridge. So try to follow me here. I personally believe that your travel pins were emotional, and my spend HBD pins are probably boring. But these two different use cases for the same world mapping brings me to a question about developing in an integratable in a maybe Legos blocks in a, is this have something to do with open source? As a technologist, can you just and project manager, can you just break down your thought process on that?
This is what we have in mind in the long run, but our project, our world mapping code, um, at least most of it, as far as I know, is open source because we get even little paid for it, and then it's, for my understanding, something you have to do means open source it, give other people the chance. But even better, I see, like we talked about social, here we join things together and create something way bigger for the community, for all the people, for the whole Hive ecosystem. Because having all this connected to different front ends and giving the food community or later on the beer community an own map with the posts out of this community. And this is something we are not having finished yet, but this is on our agenda, will give a lot more value to Hive.
Okay, so you're not getting paid, but you're bringing value to high. You need to break this down for me. What is value, and where is this thing coming from?
Value for me is positive use cases to be on Hive, things which helps people with being here on a great place and For sure, in the long run, everyone from us might earn something on it through the posts he did, through the stuff he did, through the code he did, or even better, through the friends he make. And this is something I learned since my day one on Hive. Um, you might get paid for a few things, which is nice, but the like-minded people you meet from all around the world, this is way more value as you could get paid in Hive dollars. You know, again, seeing Lewis hanging out here in the chat, we met, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And since that, we did so many other things in real world by meeting on Hive, where we both had way more positive income with as we probably had on Hive. And these are just good examples of what for me means value. Value is not always the financial stuff you get. It could be something way more, for my opinion, important.
Nailed it. Okay, so let's wrap back around. What else are you working on in terms of WorldMappin integration outside of the use cases we've discussed already? I'm talking to the technologists now. Open your mind and tell us what you see is possible, possibly one day, with WorldMappin.
Um, we are planning to build a native app, even knowing that this is a big, big thing. We like to have this way more with the mobile user. The concept is not yet clear. We did several talks to other projects. We like to have this together with the mobile versions of eSensi, InLeo, PeakD, and so on. But for our own worldmappin.com website, we will redesign the whole thing within the next time frame of activities. And at the same time, we started already in thinking what benefit, which features should have a application on your mobile device whenever you are using WorldMappin. So seeing the places you've been. I don't know if we need to create an editor into this to have it have people pinning posts from there. Might be
Don't,
something the other front end
I'm sorry to
much better.
interrupt you. Don't get off on scope. I know you, project manager. Stop scoping it. Okay. Tell me more
Okay.
ideas, please. Okay. I love that. Mobile app, very powerful. Anything else on your 10-year wish list?
Oh, as I said, communities is the biggest thing. This is already close to happen. On my wish list is really having for different communities even more features. Having the different pubs we used for Beer Saturday, having some mobile apps with all the travel digest content, which is brilliant content. You have to have a look into this. What kind of 40, 50 picture posts people are doing on Hive for traveling. Whenever you see all these thousands of posts, and let me double check, we have now, I think, around a bit more than 130,000 posts on WorldMappin altogether. And each day a few hundred come on top. We have 132,733 posts or pins on WorldMappin already. And yesterday we had around 160 new, and today so far bit more than 140. Means there's traffic. And we
That's
like to,
traffic. That is, and in a decentralized community of decentralized communities, it's interesting to see who's got the users. We all think that this technology is very good, but what would the new users do? So I find this very fascinating. I have a couple. Can we do a rapid fire round? Because I've got like a bunch, and we're getting kind of into the below the fold section of the podcast. So, what would you do if you were unfunded tomorrow? Would you pack up and go home?
nah, nah. I will, and this is what we started already with people like Goodfish. We look to build financial freedom for us into the system. So we at the moment we have an overlooking amount of money we need each month to pay a few people, to pay the servers, and to pay a few other things. So a second activity we started is, and this is not really easy. So if anyone here has a good idea, please knock on my door. We are looking to make more use out of this content, but not with some kind of ads and other things. So we like to have all these quality posts somewhere where we get some money in to be able to pay developers, to pay more designers, to pay the team in some way. And even if we get unfunded, what happened lately, do some interesting activities with other proposals. We go further. For me, even if we really get unfunded for a longer time frame, we might to reduce a few spendings, but I like to find a way to keep this thing ongoing. And you might remember the emotions I mentioned.
Fantastic. And even after we're getting to the close here, after this session, we will have an open mic session. So anybody out there listening, get into our Hive decentralized community of decentralized communities Discord so you can participate in these open discussions. Now, Detlev, I want to step away for a second in the end of the show here. What else is going on in your life personally? Do you have other ideas? Do you have other things to do?
Um, Traveling. So my next trip is already planned in the summertime. I have a family, like many of us probably have, and we have Easter holiday upcoming, and we will make some fun things. And for sure, I run a few other projects, not on Hive, but in my real life with my consulting company, or we lately built a huge platform for online events where you use this if you meet with more than 50 people, up to 300 or 5,000. This is something where I spend a lot of my nerves and money and activities.
Fantastic. And so
And
would you like to just shamelessly shill, man? You have impressed, I think, me at least. And so shamelessly shill us something. I heard you were an author. Where can I buy your book?
uh, since at least 5 or 6 years, you can buy them on Hive. For sure. But not each of them. I do every year some kind of a magazine. We just finished the latest one, and it will help you to learn some German, as these books are mainly in German language. And a big one I did in 2015 is called Einfach anders arbeiten, which means simply work different. And this was far before we had all this new work things ongoing, where we wrote together with a bunch of people and some support from Microsoft, and Vitra, Design Furniture, and others about how the working life will change by using the right technology.
Okay, so wow. And now I know you're busy, but how could someone find this on to buy it with Hive? How could we find it? Just in simple instructions.
Go to my account on on each of my posts. There is something uh, since ages where you can click and go to a page and ask for the book. I can send it in digital format, or even there are a few, I guess, a few hundreds left as a 2 kilo printed version. But shipping to, for example, your location might eat a lot of the additional costs.
I'm a PDF man myself. Do you have that option for me?
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. Okay, I am completely impressed, and we do have another couple of minutes. So, tell me about your very favorite pin.
The first one, not not the very favorite. If you go um, to my map, which is I can write in the chat, yeah, and there I add
Yeah, go
my
ahead. I could provide a little
yeah.
cover for you if you'd like to use your keyboard. So, just
Um,
everyone who's come in here, I've posted the blog of Detlev, and you can access it from any one of the multiple front ends we have here on Hive. But this one, peakd.com/at Detlev. Witness, manager of WorldMappin, manager, yes. Beer lover, aren't we all? And diver and traveler. So we have, of
so
course, his skill set. There you go. Yes, go ahead, Detlef. Tell us more.
especially with a diver, which I do since many years. Uh, the pin I made in Papua New Guinea was a very nice one. It was something I did because I really enjoyed the place there. And then if you go back to Indonesia, you see a few pins far north in Sulawesi, where I went 2 years ago, close to Manado, and traveling to a few islands and mountains. This was really unique because it's really a different but a very nice and friendly world.
Amazing. And yes, we have decentralized people assisting with this. Amazing. Okay, so first of all, I have to ask, I feel like we could talk all day to Detlev. Would you be willing to come back someday soon on the podcast and talk more about some of these incredible, important discussions, to unpack them more, maybe one by one, even?
Give me a stage and I will rock it. Quite easy.
I love that enthusiasm. Okay, so one thing, and I hate to call you out, but I need to say you have an idea, or I've seen your idea, and I'm like this too. I have 1,000 ideas, and so maybe sometimes somebody finds a breadcrumb. But I found your elevator pitch. Could you just talk me through what is the idea? And maybe we get you back on to talk more about elevator pitch. But give me the elevator pitch for elevator pitch.
um, 3 minutes about your most important things on Hive. I started this from an idea during Hive Fest Mexico, where I made 2 or 3 recordings. And then I figured out that I have to change the whole thing to be able to record people online from different locations. And then my day by day job was killing that idea, as it was a bit too much. And sometimes I tend to be a bit too early. with activity. So this is a project which is not dead. It smells a little bit into that direction, but we can easily refresh this with some new things. And Hive Elevator with the same name is something where I give people 3 minutes on stage or on virtual stage to talk about what they are doing, what they like, what they love with Hive. And this is what we do in business as well. Meeting someone in an elevator and pitching your project, pitching your person to that guy, either to get a job or to get some money or to get some attention or to just have some fun. Then mainly you pitch to ladies.
Amazing. We've all pitched something in our lives, haven't we? Fantastic. I actually had it wrong. I had an elevator pitch. It's Hive Elevator. I like this idea. So if you ever need any motivation to bring that one back, reach out to me. My door is also open to you, Detlev. Any last words for us? Talk us through, or we'll end this recorded session and open up the open mic.
Have a beer.
You heard it here first, guys. Decentralized community of decentralized communities on Hive. Top advice for today: go have a beer. This has been Deep Web 3 Secrets.